let's get back to our top story on matters of fuel now. In a move to defuse mounting tension in the transport sector, President William Ruto has announced fresh fuel subsidy and tax relief measures aimed at subsidizing prices and restoring calm after days of nationwide protests that disrupted public transport services. Ruto revealed that diesel prices will be reduced by an additional 10 shillings in the next pricing cycle and announced a duty exemption on the first 100,000 electric vehicles to be imported into the country as part of efforts to ease pressure on operators and accelerate the shift to cleaner transport. Now, meanwhile, the matatu operators have called off the planned Tuesday strike following the consultative meeting with the President William Ruto at State House, Mombasa this morning. Take a look.
Following the nationwide boycott witnessed on Monday and Tuesday this week after transport operators protested against the recent fuel price hike announced by the government, President William Ruto, who returned to the country from an official tour of Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, convened a high-level consultative meeting with transport sector stakeholders at State House Mombasa in a bid to avert a prolonged shutdown of public transport services.
I fully understand the frustration and the burden this has placed on households and on the cost of living across the country.
According to the president, the government has so far committed 28.19 billion shillings in fuel price support through stabilization measures and tax relief interventions aimed at cushioning Kenyans from the full impact of the global oil shock.
Across April-May and May-June 2026 pricing cycles, the government has spent a total of 28.19 billion on fuel price support. Without government intervention during this cycle, super petrol would today have retailed at Kenya shillings 230 shillings per litre instead of the 214. Diesel would be retailing at 277.75 shillings per litre instead of the current 232.86 shillings per litre.
As part of further interventions, the government will reduce the diesel prices by an additional 10 shillings in the June-July pricing cycle to ease pressure on transport operators and consumers.
Next pricing cycle, we are going to further reduce the price of diesel by a further 10 shillings for the June-July cycle to help stabilize pump prices and provide additional relief.
He further said the government will exempt the first 100,000 electric vehicles imported into the country from duty as part of efforts to promote cleaner transport.
And the government has already ordered 3,000 electric vehicles through the Ministry of Interior for use by our security and administration officials. I am also making a declaration that the first 100,000 electric vehicles to be imported into Kenya, whether for public service or private use, will be duty-free.
The president has told off those pushing removal of levies on fuel, terming them naysayers.
If we stop collecting these revenues entirely, what public services shall we stop funding? Do we go back to the spectacle of stalled road projects?
Following the meeting, transport operators have now called off planned nationwide protests and urged a return to normal public transport operations across the country.
We had suspended the strike, but we've called it off. So we will not have strike next week. We are going to work.
Trevor Ngendo for Lunchtime News.